Hi everybody, this is Ashley Christina coming to talk to you as your Plutonic astrologer and starting to speak about reading astrology charts. So the easiest way that you can go and find your astrology chart is www.astro.com, and in astro.com you can, with an email account, sign up for a free account, and then on the right hand side you go to My Astro and you click on there and you add new astro data, and you will need the birth date, birth time, and birthplace of your chart or whoever's chart you're looking at, and you can save I think up to 100 on here. And then from there you go to the top left hand side, free horoscopes, and under there to the far right, drawings and calculations, and then you can go to natal chart and ascendant. You pick the person and go, and you've got your chart. So from there, in learning to read astrology, looking at the sun is a very big part of reading astrology, which sign the sun sits in. The next part in reading somebody's astrology is looking typically at the moon and the moon sign, and right now we're doing very, very, very basic astrology. So just looking at the energy of the sun and the moon sign, you'll start to see a little bit of somebody's energy. We are very ruled by our emotions, and the moon rules our emotions. And then the sun rules who we are, kind of at our soul. A lot of astrologers don't talk enough about the nadi, or the immune kali. It's called the IC in the astrology chart. So the sign that the IC sits at is also very, very important. A lot of astrologers are not talking about it enough. That's our very innermost self. So for example, I'm a Scorpio sun, but my IC sits in Gemini. So even though people might think I'm Scorpionic, I'm actually really light energy of Gemini, like back and forth. And I'll like really be over here thinking something, and then I'm like 1 second over here thinking something. That's Gemini energy. So getting to know the very basic energies of yourself or somebody, I would look first at the sun and the moon, a little bit at the IC, and the next step would be to look at the rising sign, which is called the ascendant, AC, and the sign of the ascendant. My next video will be on the energies of the sun sitting through, the astrological energies and how that works. So that's very, very basic. Right there, you've got the chart. From that chart, you can go into a lot more. Reading along the left window here, you'll see it says Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars. When you don't know what any of those mean, they don't mean a lot, but that's everything that you basically need to start looking at to be reading somebody's chart. In basics, Sun is kind of who we are at our core level. Moon is our emotions and how we feel about things. Mercury is how we think and how we communicate. Venus is what we love, how we love, what we love to do, the way we show our love. Mars is our yang energy, so it's the energy when you decide to do something. So the decision would be Mercury. Your Mars energy is what gets you going and doing it. So getting these all together to put together is where it takes years to really start to grasp the levels of astrology. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. It expands whatever it sits next to. This is starting to get into more advanced astrology, but it's just an introduction to the energies of what it does. Saturn rules Capricorn, so it is kind of like a grandfather energy. It keeps you a bit constricted. It keeps you in line. It's a very traditional energy. It's a big part of the chart, actually. Same with Pluto. Just introducing a minor aspect of the planets here. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. It's very electrical, kind of ecstatic. You never know what you're going to get with Uranus. So where it sits in the chart kind of creates some mental energy. It creates a little bit of upheaval. It's the energy that can really move people across different paths. Can kind of be an unsettled energy. Neptune is beautiful. It rules Pisces, where it sits in the charts, is like the magical, illusionary, mystical energy of the person. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. It's why I've called myself the Plutonic energy. It's intense, it's deep, it's unnerving to some because it's so penetrative. It is the shaman of the zodiac. It's the farthest out, so it's got the most clear sight. Where it sits in the chart is like the gravitational pull of the chart. Again, you're going to have to just kind of take these pieces of information, store them, go through them, store them, go through them, store them, and then finally when you're starting to go roundabout of everything, it'll start making sense. So don't try to grasp too hard, just kind of store. Okay, Pluto, shaman, or, you know, like a gravitational pull in the astrology chart. Your true node is very important in reading astrology. That is the energy where when you finally start acting from your true node, you feel like you're fulfilling your life path. Until then, you're not really fulfilling your life path. So if somebody has a sun in Leo and their north node is in Gemini, by them like going and, you know, being center stage at Broadway, they're not going to be fulfilling their life path. But if they are, you know, this is just a very vague example, but if they're go and start to you know, write in a newspaper, they'll actually feel like they're filling more of their life path. For some, it's easier to get to your true node, or also known as your north node energy, than it is for other people. And some people, they'll probably, whichever way you want to think about it, repeat the life before they get to their north node because they're so stuck in either their south node or their solar energy. Sometimes it can be the moon energy that keeps them stuck. Like this is where you look at a chart, and it takes years of studying this to give these you know, advice to people. Your Chiron is a very important part of the chart. It's your wound. It will come out for sure. It's the place once you start to illuminate it from astrology. Old wisdom says the light comes through the wound. So once you start to realize, oh, that's my wound, and actually I need to like consciously make effort to not be in that place, that's where you have moved your wound to your healing. The healer and the wound is not far from each other. They're together. And that's also where you have light to give other people. That's your gift. So once you move through your Chiron, your wound, you're able to help some other people. And it's a very beautiful place in the chart. Your descendant on the right side there is another important part of the chart, and that is the 1 degree of the whole 360-degree energy of you that you have a place for a partnership. Okay, thank you.